I'm in the middle of over 30 series. Every month I like to make sure I check off a couple of books towards getting a little bit more progress done on my series tracker. Today I'm going to read 3 books from my various series and try and get a little bit more progress on my series. So the 3 books I'm going to read today are Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh, which is the 6th and most recent instalment from the Boys of Tommen series. Mockingjay by Suzanne. Where did I get Caroline from? Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, which is the last book in the Hunger Games series. And The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk by Carissa Broadbent, which is the most recent and 4th book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. And we are starting off by reading Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. This is a very, very, very emotional book between 2 characters, Lizzie and Hughie, and they meet when they are about 7 years old, as Lizzie's family have moved back to Ireland as Lizzie has been diagnosed with bipolar. To help themselves out, the whole family, and for the best, they have decided to move back to Ireland, and she meets Hughie. Hughie is the older brother of Claire, who is the main female character in the previous book, Taming 7. 6 books in this series, and each book follows a different couple from the Boys of Tommen school. Tommen school, not Boys of Tommen, but Tommen school. This is traumatic. Throughout all the previous 5 books, Lizzie has had quite a bad reputation. She's very hard to get on with. A lot of the characters have issues with her, and this book delves into all of the reasons. Check the trigger warnings. I say this in every single video. It is very traumatic. This basically follows Lizzie and Hughie getting to know each other and her different ups and downs, and getting to know herself as she's growing up from 7 to, I think this book ends roughly when she's like 16. Also a whole story over Lizzie's older sister Kiva, who ended herself, and you understand the reasoning why, you understand the reason behind Lizzie's behaviour, you understand Lizzie so deeply. So yeah, that's the first book we're going to read. Enjoy me just suffering. Hello. I am 108 pages into Releasing 10. Already, I know this is going to make me bawl my eyes out. I feel like I'm already emotional reading it. Already I'm like, oh my god. I didn't realise there was so much backstory to Lizzie and Hugh, which I obviously didn't know about. Someone just saw me filming. So far, we've gotten so much from Lizzie's childhood and just didn't understand. And now I'm like, oh. So I'm so intrigued to see where it goes. All of the TikToks about I hate Mark Allen, I understand. Read the trigger warnings on this. I wasn't expecting what I have read. Yeah, this is hard hitting already. 100 pages in. We've got 600 pages to go. Conscious of how dead I may look. I've just woken up. It is 7:45. It is Saturday. The last time I spoke to you was Sunday. We've got a lot of updates and I'm this far through, and I have a coffee, so I feel like I look so dead. I do feel rather dead. I bought some really cute autumnal straws from the range. I'm absolutely obsessed. Anyway, it has been a really, really busy week, hence why it's taken me 6 days to read 600 pages. I've been reading 100 pages a day, very, very consistently, but only about 100 pages. But also, this book is probably the heaviest book I've ever read. That it's not an easy read. It's not very flip through, it's not a quick read. When I tell you, in the series, this is the most, I guess, invested, but I read every single word in this book, and it's so heavy. This book is I think it's the saddest one in the series. It is honestly so horrible to read. Also, if you can see my dead flowers, they are getting sorted out today. I've just realised how dead they are. I'm just gonna move you so you can't see the abomination. Throughout the whole book though, Lizzie's had a very negative relationship with everyone. She has bipolar. She's very, very up and down. She's very short-tempered. She's very shut off. She's not the easiest to be around, and kind of everyone expresses their feelings on that. And yeah, this is finally her story. Hugh ends up obviously really caring for Lizzie and kind of taking the responsibility on his shoulders to be there for her while she goes through these various struggles. But there's so much more. Lizzie's older sister, Kiva, she committed suicide when she was, I think, 18, and that's very much shown throughout all the previous books. So you find out about that, you find out the reasonings, you find out just everything about Lizzie's life. I love these books because it's not just, oh, here's the character's like background. This whole book, we are still in the past, like we are still not in the present because it's giving us the backstory. It's horrific, by far the most distressing one to read, and it's so weird because you read for enjoyment, and it's horrible to say I'm enjoying this book, I'm not, but I care for these characters so much that I am obviously still reading and want to know exactly what's happening. I don't know how I'm gonna rate this. I'm basically recording now because I'm going to finish it. It's 10 to 8. I have work from 10 to 11, so I can read for like an hour and a half, and I'm hoping that will get me through this whole chunk here. Who doesn't want to start their Saturday morning with crying over a book, you know? Also, I got such a cute bookmark from Howlett's. We went to Howlett's last Sunday, and it's got a little pink tassely bit, and I absolutely love it. I've also made my way through about half of The Hunger Games, Mockingjay, through audiobooks, so I just need to check in with all of that. There's just a lot to update you on. I'm gonna put a cafe on, finish this. Wish me luck. She got 5 stars. Oh my goodness gracious, this was so sad. I really ugly cried this morning. The last few pages of this book literally just had no right. All day I've just been really sad. I was at work this morning and I texted Fred being like, I'm trying not to cry right now. These characters, my favourite thing about Chloe Walsh is just how well she makes people seem real, and I was fully immersed. I was in the chapter, I was in the scene, I was watching everything happen. She really does absolutely draw you in. I think because the books are so long, no detail gets left behind. No detail is like left to your imagination. Like, no, she will tell you what you need to know. So yeah, 5 stars. Recommend this series, but equally I don't, but I do. It's such an incredible series. I love the characters so much in these books. On a lighter note, I am 53% through Mockingjay. The next book we're reading is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, and this is the last book in the Hunger Games series. The Hunger Games is this games in which 2 candidates from each district, there are 12 districts in this world, they get thrown into this arena and have to fight for survival, and there's normally one winner. There's a lot of politics around it. There's obviously a lot of hate. There's a lot of districts in poverty versus a lot of districts who have had a much more fortunate training and life up until the games. In the first book, The Hunger Games, we follow Peter and Katniss in their first games. This book is mainly focused over rebellion and propaganda and 2 sides. Like I said, there's a lot of politics and sacrifice and resilience and emotions. This book is very emotional. It's a very deep dive into the original characters that we had in Hunger Games, Katniss and Peter. It follows Katniss trying to lead and a rebellion, and trying to get a conclusion which is happy for everyone or for the greater good. I've been literally only listening to this on audiobook while I've been driving and doing my bits and bobs, so I'm going to read now. I actually can only read for about 45 minutes until I need to get ready, but I'm going to read and then listen to the audiobook while I get ready. We're going to see Shawn Mendes tonight. I'm very excited. The aim is to finish the book tonight, but I don't have the highest of hopes, but I'll see. I am really enjoying Mockingjay. I like that the books are political and there's so much politics and there's so much emotion, and we're getting so much more in the books. Obviously that's to be expected than the films, but it's lovely knowing the real details rather than just seeing the film and kind of assuming, I guess. I like that we are getting the details. I just love reading. I love how much detail we get in books. Film, TV show can never compare to that. Good morning, good morning. It is Sunday. I did not finish my book last night. I honestly, it was high hopes, but I am really enjoying the audiobook. I think I'm preferring reading it through the audiobook. I read for 45 minutes the actual physical book yesterday, and then I listened to it whilst I got ready for Shawn. I'll put up a picture of the loo. I felt so cute, and it was the most incredible evening. Oh my goodness, it was so good. It was literally on par with Taylor Swift. It was everything I wanted it to be and more. I love Shawn Mendes, but I loved him when I was younger. I had a fan account for him. I was a hardcore stan of Shawn, and the fact that I got to see his first tour back in a very long time, and the fact that his whole tour was on the road again, so he just played all his popular songs songs. He played Lost in Japan and In My Blood, and those are my two favourite songs. And I remember listening to that album and being like, I hope one day I can listen to this live. And I did. And I did. So I am so chuffed this morning. I definitely have the post-concert blues though. Like, I'm just feeling a bit depressed. So I'm going to play some Animal Crossing and listen to the audiobook, and then I will read the last little bit, or I might just listen to it. I feel bad when I only listen to an audiobook and don't spend any time reading the book, but I've probably read about 100 pages of the book and listened to about 200. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm 70% in, 77% in. I'm listening to it on BookBeat. I am enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying it less than Catching Fire. Catching Fire was definitely my favourite, but I am still enjoying it. I think it's just because it's way more depressing. Like, if you know what happens, I don't want to spoil it, because for the people who haven't seen the films or read the books, it's such a good series. I could not recommend it more. I just feel like I'm not enjoying it as much because there's so much politics. And also there's something so big happening within the characters that it just doesn't feel as, I guess, enjoyable to read, but I'm still absolutely loving it. Honestly, this series is definitely 5 stars. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this now, and then this afternoon we get to start the Kiss and the, what is it even called? I should probably know what it's called. Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk. I kind of got it. I cannot wait to read this. So we're going to listen to the audiobook now, and then we will start the Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk this afternoon. Hello, I'm here to talk to you about The Hunger Games. I did in fact finish it. I finished it on Saturday, I want to say. So I've just taken my hair out of its bonnet because I washed my hair and I'm trying to let it dry naturally because I'm trying to like my natural hair more. Yeah, I finished The Hunger Games. It got 4 stars. I think I said in my last check-in, I enjoyed it, but I just didn't enjoy it as much. I really liked Catching Fire. I think Mockingjay was a little bit too political and it made sense to the story, etc. And I still really enjoyed it. It was just like, I found myself a little bit less interested, but I'm so glad to have finished a series. I've finished a series and I'm now up to date on a series, all done in this video, and I'm about to be up to date on another series. I thought at the end of this video we could go through my series tracker as well to just do a little bit of admin, but I am reading The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk. And the last book we're going to read in this video is Carissa Broadbent's most recent installment into the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which is The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk. I keep getting this name wrong, so I really hope I've just said it right. This is the 4th book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and the first 2 books follows Rhine, and Oriah, and the 3rd and 4th book follow Misha and Asar. So in the 3rd book, Misha is best friends with Rain. She is best friends with Rain, and she basically goes off because something happens in the 2nd book, which means she just feels like she needs a bit of space, kind of a fresh start. She just wants some time to herself, and she goes on a little bit of a, I guess, self-exploring mission, I guess. She gets herself into some trouble, and the 1st book basically follows her through the underworld because basically she was a mortal turned vampire and she been bonded to Asar because of a certain situation. So they go on a journey to the underworld to confront the issue, and then there is a huge plot twist at the end of that book. And then the 4th book follows on. Mish has been transformed into something. It follows them trying to get her back to being a vampire, more mortal, trying to find a more suitable lifestyle, I guess, for me. I'm trying to not get spoilers in here, so please excuse the way I'm kind of wording this. I'm trying to do the best I can. This book follows a lot of odds against them. They are constantly fighting something, someone. There's a lot of conflict, and again, this book follows a lot of politics. I do recommend reading the 3rd and 4th kind of back to back. So there we go. And I am 64% in. I'm on page 405 out of 638. I'm absolutely loving this book. The one issue I have is that when you obviously are reading the books as they're coming out, there's a lot that you forget. So there's a bit of, I guess, disconnection between me and the book, just because I'm like, wait, who are you? There's a lot of characters in this book and this series, and because the first 2 books follows 2 different characters and that whole thing, and I read them, and then I read the 1st book following Mish, I think it's Mish or Misha, and Asar, Azar. I read the first book and then it ended on such a insane cliffhanger, and obviously this is now the second book. There are things which I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh wait, what's going on here? Oh wait, what's going on here? Maybe we needed a little bit more in this book to be like, welcome back, because I don't think an author should expect everyone to wait until the series is out and then read them all back to back. So I remembered the big cliffhanger, but there were things like smaller things and characters which I still am a bit like, how do you correlate to the story? How are you involved? What's going on? Are you alive? Are you dead? That's my only issue. I'm really liking where the plot has gone from the cliffhanger in the last book to this book. I really like the direction and route it's taken. I'm gonna finish these 234 pages and I will get back to you. To give you my final thoughts, I finished it last night. It got 4 stars. My one issue, and I know I've already said, is the fact that because there wasn't that much introduction to be like, welcome back, here was what you should remember. And I've read so many books that I remembered the cliffhanger, but then coming back into it, I couldn't remember who was what was going on. I'm gonna say this in a minute. I'm filming these clips in such weird ways, but Slaying the Vampire Conqueror is in this series and I didn't realise. I thought it was a completely different series, so I wonder if that's why I didn't understand, which has really annoyed me because I love this series, but this book just frustrated me a bit because I was confused. There were people mentioned, there were circumstances mentioned, there were situations mentioned, which I was like, I don't have any recollection, and I maybe should have had a little Google of a little synopsis of The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, so I could have gone into this with a little bit more preparation, but that just annoyed me a little bit. I did really like it though. I really liked the conclusion. I was very happy with the conclusion. I liked the feature of having Rain and Oriah in it. Misha and Asar's love is so lovely. It was a very, very lovely fantasy romantasy to read. I think it's a very, very good romantasy. Like, it is equally fantasy and romantasy, which I really, really liked. I feel like I haven't read a really good balanced romantasy in quite a few months, so it was really nice to read a very good one. I don't know, it was just, there were bits which I was like, I have no clue what's going on here, and I would go back pages to try and think, did I miss something here? So yeah, there was a little bit of frustration, which is really annoying because I love this series, but that book gave it a little, but again, it could be because I didn't read Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, so I don't know if it's my own fault. I thought we would go through my series tracker to end off this video and kind of do a little admin, see where we're at. So I currently have 38 series on my series tracker. I have 30 to finish, so I'm literally 50% through, which I'm kind of happy with, but I get to update them. So Boys of Tommen, I have read all 6 books, so I am up to date on this series. I'm so happy to be up to date. This book was heartbreaking, but I'm very glad to be up to date and wait very patiently, but not very patiently, but try my best to wait patiently for the next book. Crowns on Axia, I didn't realise Slaying the Vampire Conqueror is part of the Crowns on Axia series. I don't know where I got this information from, but I thought it was completely different. So it is well, it's not a novella. I thought again it was a novella. It's 370 pages. I fear I didn't understand this book as much because I didn't read that book, so I'm really annoyed at myself. So I'm actually still in progress, but I have read 5 books. Hunger Games, obviously, whoops. So complete, amazing. So I am 55% through. I have 28 to finish. I'm up to date on 12, completed 9. And still obviously 38. I kind of want to try and get a lot of my series tracker ticked off by the end of this year. It's just a little goal of mine, because I hope that in 2026 I can start a whole bunch new series and not be like Okay, I really need to get a little move on. I want to be in a position where I can add a bunch of new series, start a bunch of new books, and not feel like I'm just adding it to the never-ending TBR, if that makes sense. But that is this video done. I'm going to end it off here. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I'm really happy to have made such good progress on my series tracker, and thank you so much for watching and joining me while I make that progress. Please follow me on my socials. They are What Rose is Reading, and of course please subscribe. We are getting closer and closer to 3,000 subscribers, which is crazy. It's literally crazy. So please do subscribe and help make a galley's dream come true. I post every Monday and Thursday at 5 p.m. So if you want to see more of me, that's even more reason to subscribe, you know? You're welcome. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again in another video. Kisses and hugs. Bye. Bye.